Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, before I provide my response to the question, I'd like to express a congratulatory message to our victorious Fiji Sevens team for winning the bronze medal at the Dubai Sevens, as well as our women's team, even though they fell short to the Japanese ladies team, but they were placed fourth. And we wish them well too in the upcoming Cape Town Sevens in South Africa in the coming weekend. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank the Honourable for this question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Fiji Resilient Informal Settlements Program is a transformative initiative being implemented in partnership with the UN Habitat, the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Housing. This program is central to our national efforts to mitigate the impacts of climate change and reduce disaster risk in vulnerable urban communities, particularly for those living in the informal settlements. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Agreement of Cooperation, or AOC, was first signed in October 2018 with the objective of strengthening resilience in informal urban settlements that are highly exposed to climate and disaster risks. Since its inception, the program has been progressively expanded through successive amendments to increase resources, extend timelines, and broaden its scope to ensure that its objectives are fully achieved. As of Amendment 6, signed in May 2024, the program was extended until 31st May 2025. Recently, the Ministry, and also with the collaboration of UN Habitat, has further extended the program until May 2027. This extension provides the necessary time to complete pending activities in the second phase of the project. Importantly, it becomes at no additional cost, reflecting prudent financial management and the commitment of all parties to deliver results within the agreed budget of US $3.12 million. Mr. Speaker, sir, the FIRS program is structured under three major components in 16 settlements located in 4 municipalities around the country. They are in Lami, Singatoka, Nandi, and Lutok. The first program component is an agreement with USP, which will deliver 4 finalized city or town level climate action plans, including vulnerability assessments and hazard maps. At the city level, institutional strengthening has been a major focus, with particular emphasis on informal settlements. These tools guide planning decisions and ensure that resilience is embedded in municipal governance. Development of city-wide climate change action plans will result in the establishment of dedicated urban planners and resilient officers within local councils, ensuring the sustainability of these efforts beyond the life of the project. Mr. Speaker, sir, the program also provides capacity development strategies that strengthen household and community livelihoods against climate impacts. Training workshops and community capacity developments plans will be rolled out, equipping residents with practical skills in disaster preparedness, sustained livelihoods, and climate adaptation. These activities are designed to empower communities to take ownership of resilience measures and to build long-term adaptive capacity. The Speaker, sir, the second component is infrastructure development. Pilot sub-projects are currently underway in 2 settlements. These are in Korothiri and Nawajikuma settlements in Nandi, resulting in tangible improvements to drainage systems, access roads, and community facilities. The construction of Korothiri Settlement Evacuation Center, which was previously suspended in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic, is now being completed. The next major infrastructure project will be the construction of an evacuation center in Nawajikuma settlement, together with an elevated connecting footpath linking both settlements to the Nawaka village school. In the event of flooding caused by prolonged heavy rainfall, this infrastructure will ensure safe access to evacuation centers and provide secure evacuation routes for residents should relocation to safer areas become necessary. The Corridor settlement currently has 63 vulnerable households of more than 300 people, comprising elderly persons, men, women, and children. There are more than 400 households in the Nawajikuma settlement, and both of these settlements are susceptible to the effects of heavy downpours. Third component, the speakers of the FRIS project focuses on the scale-up delivery of critical infrastructure. Under the grant agreement, the planned interventions include drainage upgrades in Kalikana and Wainibukai, as well as sanitation improvements in Wailikutu, this around Lami, as well as construction of a double-story women's resource center, a community hall, a dispensary unit, and evacuation center. Other infrastructure projects include the construction of food storage and harvesting facilities for Kulukulu, the completion of an evacuation center at Punkavika in Singatoka. In relation to the settlements of Vunato, California, Pendongo, Taipiria, Nangiroso, and Aswata in Lautoka, the plan works include the construction of connecting footpaths across all 6 settlements and drainage clearing to improve flood mitigation and access. Guided by the community action plans, Mr. Speaker, sir, by May 2027, at least 16 infrastructure projects will be completed and formally handed over, providing safer, more resilient living environments for thousands of Fijians. Mr. Speaker, sir, knowledge management and advocacy are also integral to the program. A knowledge management platform has been established to capture lessons learned and best practices. The program will systemize knowledge sharing and implement a communication strategy to ensure that communities, policymakers, and stakeholders are fully engaged. Mr. Speaker, sir, the financial framework of the program is structured to link disbursements directly to outputs. The 4th and 5th installments amounting to over US $2.4 million will support the completion of sub-project designs, training, and infrastructure implementation. The final payment of installment more than $300,000 will be disbursed upon delivery of project handover reports, settlement, upgrading guidelines, and audited finance statements. This structured payment schedule ensures accountability and guarantees that funds are tied to measurable achievements. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sir, the RIS program is a lifeline for vulnerable communities who face the daily realities of flooding, cyclones, and rising sea levels. By strengthening institutions, empowering communities, and delivering resilient infrastructure, we are laying the foundation for safer, healthier, and more sustainable futures. And this program reflects government's unwavering commitment to inclusive development, climate resilience, poverty reduction, also ensure that no Fijian, regardless where they live, will be left behind in our national journey towards resilience. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.